What's up everybody? This is David McNally here, bringing you the full review of the Carbon 2X 14mm Power Series paddle from Carbon Pickleball. I have been playing with Carbon since March 2022, and I've been mostly using the Carbon Squared, the square shape, in the 16mm thickness. I've been playing with the Carbon 2X for the past 2 weeks, playing mostly doubles, but also mixing in some singles as well. I think the best way to review this paddle is to give you guys the pros and cons of how the paddle performs in each shot you're gonna find yourself hitting in a match. Serving with the Carbon 2X is excellent. It is very easy to generate a lot of pace and therefore depth on your serve. I also think with the spin that you can generate with this paddle, you can hit topspin and expect your serves to fall in almost every time. Returns. This one is a little bit more nuanced. If you like to return your serve with a lot of slice, this paddle can be a dangerous one for you, as the power and spin that this paddle will give you on your return of serve makes it very easy to hit these too long. And especially if you hit some side spin on your return of serve as well, it can easily spin right off that court, making a lot of unforced errors that are very, very costly on the return of serve. If you hit your return of serve flat or with topspin, this paddle is good for you. This is going to kind of have the same effect that you're going to find on your serve, where you're getting a lot of depth and able to generate a lot of topspin. Third shots. Drives are excellent. It is very easy to shape this ball and have it dip right past the net with all the topspin you can generate. And of course, with all that pop, especially from the sweet spot of this paddle, you're going to be able to generate a lot of pace and apply a lot of pressure on your opponents. If you're hitting your third shots with some slice, they're going to have the tendency to float and be more attackable for your opponents. So if you enjoy driving your thirds, this is a good paddle for you. If you're looking to drop a lot of your thirds, especially with slice, this paddle is going to have quite an adjustment period for you. Now onto the fourth shot and the sixth shots, eighth shots, etc. This paddle actually performs very well in this scenario, as you are able to block drives that your opponents are hitting at you very effectively. You're going to be getting a lot of depth. You're going to be making them have to step back, hitting their fifths and sevenths. And of course, on a fourth shot or sixth shot that hangs up there and is easy for you to attack, this paddle will bring another level to your putaways, making it very, very challenging for your opponents to actually transition, forcing them to feel like they need to hit the perfect third. In the transition zone, meaning hitting your fifth shots, your seventh shots, etc., however many it's going to take for you to fully transition to the kitchen, this paddle is good for counterattacking any ball that's coming at your waist or higher. You can really put a lot of pace and get that ball right back to your opponents in an amount of time that can make them feel uncomfortable, forcing some errors from them. But at the same time, if you're looking to just reset one of your opponent's very good shots, I found that it was very hard to not pop up that next shot. A lot of times I was sailing these balls like 5 feet out of bounds when I was trying to just hit a solid reset, especially if you were coming from a thicker paddle, 16mm and up. I think this is where this paddle had its biggest con, trying to just take an offensive ball that your opponents hit and putting it in the kitchen was not easy to do with this paddle, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that myself. Dinking is relatively easy to adjust to with the Carbon 2X. If you were comfortable before, you're going to be comfortable with this paddle. If you are not comfortable before, you're going to have to work on your dinks. Lastly, in hand battles, in knife fights, and very quick volleys across the kitchen with your opponents, I found that overall my hand battles were lasting a lot shorter, and I think that's because I'm able to either put a lot of pressure and force an error from my opponent, or they're putting pressure on me and I'm making an error much, much quicker, either hitting it to the net or most likely with this paddle out. So I wouldn't even necessarily say it's even better or worse. It's just kind of going to depend on your style, and it's going to, again, take some adjustment period. After 2 weeks of use, I find that the Carbon 2X 14mm paddle is overall a well-constructed, cutting-edge, yet expensive pickleball paddle. Of the 3 other people I know who are using the Power Series, they all have been very happy with it, and I think you could include myself in that category. One of the biggest improvements that the Power Series has over the original series is its durability. Even though I've only had it for 2 weeks, after 2 weeks of play with my old carbon paddle, I started to hear a rattle. And after 2 weeks of play with this 2X paddle, the Power Series, I don't hear any rattle. I hope that sound comes across on the mic. With the original series, I was getting about 7 to 12 weeks of good play before either the edge guard, or as you can see here, just the actual paddle face started to crack and fray. And of course I would develop dead spots around here, and after that I ended up retiring these paddles. So far in only 2 weeks, I know that's not a very long time, but I'm overall hopeful and feel quite confident that this paddle will last longer than the original series, which that actually does validate its $230 price tag. Should you buy this paddle? If you are seeking more power and are comfortable sacrificing some control, I think that this is actually a perfect paddle for you. You are definitely going to notice that pop off the sweet spot of the paddle. And as the saying goes, great power comes with great responsibility. And by that, I mean, it is very easy to make errors with this paddle. You definitely are gonna need to change some of your mechanics on how you're hitting balls. You're gonna need to take off more on some of your shots, especially I think your return to serve. That's really the shot that was giving me the most trouble with it. I would say do not buy this paddle if you're on a budget or you need more control in your game. Next up, I'm going to try the Carbon 2X, but instead of the 14 millimeter, I'm going to try the 16 millimeter, and I'm hoping that that paddle will be my Goldilocks, which will be the perfect balance between power and control for my game. Guys, thank you for watching the video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have a Carbon 2X? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think $230 is too much to spend on a paddle? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Enjoy playing whatever paddle you're using. Thanks for watching, guys.